a, oh, thank you. Or a ball-shaped object of some sort, preferably with an interesting pattern for your eyes to look at. That can be a rolled up pair of socks, a dog toy, anything like that. And then 2 pencils, 2 pens. Yeah, that works. Ryan, that works. Yeah, cool. Yeah, welcome. 2 pencils with writing on them. So make sure they've got letters or something of that sort. Alrighty. And then just remember, in this class, we work on the visual and the vestibular system, which means that you might feel things once we start to get into that kind of work. You might feel tired eyes, itchy eyes, maybe a little bit of dizziness, maybe even some nausea. Know that that is all okay and normal, but it also means that you've met your edge. We don't want to go too far past your edge. So if that happens, close your eyes, grab some water, take a break. All right. We'll come back to a seated or standing grounded position here. Okay, let's just start with a little bit of a shake out. So just shaking the arms, shaking the legs if you're standing, shaking the shoulders and the ribs. Okay, we'll come back to a still point. We'll close the eyes. And then we'll come into a low belly breath. So seeing if you can just breathe in and out of your nose, if that's accessible for you. Seeing if you can fill your low belly with air before your chest fills with air. So directing your breath downwards. And then I want you to start to add a sway in whatever direction feels good. So that can be a small sway forward, back, or even side to side, but just a slow rocking sway in whatever direction feels easeful for you. And then bringing your attention to the crown of your head and your neck. You find a little bit more length through your neck. Bringing your attention to your pelvis. Maybe you can even feel that rocking forward and back, either on your sit bones or between the front and the back of your pelvis. And then if you can sense the feet, give the ankles or the toes a wiggle. Grounding the feet either down through the base of your wheelchair or down through the floor. Go ahead and set your intention for class. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. All right. Good. So let's just start with our tapping today. I'm going to choose to do this. We've been playing with that wiping the water off of one arm. If you like the tapping sensation of tapping up and down your arm, you can certainly tap. Okay, so whatever sensation feels good, tapping, chopping, kneading, swiping, getting that shoulder, getting the front of that shoulder, maybe the chest, out through the hand. And then we'll switch sides. Getting the top of that shoulder, the front, underneath. Maybe giving the hand a rub. Okay, and then let's come back to the joint. So go back to the first arm, and let's actually come to the elbow. And I just want you to trace the outline of your elbow. Be gentle here, because we've got a nerve, also known as the funny bone, but the funny bone is actually a nerve. So don't press too hard in here, but just bringing more awareness to your elbow, to the edges of the elbow. Are there any sensitive parts in there for you? And then coming into that wrist. So circling your hand around that wrist and just noticing the same thing, the bony parts, the soft parts. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Feeling the elbow, tracing the outline of it. Bringing some heat to it with your hand. And then coming out through that same wrist, circling around the wrist, or feeling the bones and the tissue around that area. Okay, good. We'll take the hands, we'll give the hands a rub together, creating some heat in there. And let's find our bottle cap twisting. So grabbing each finger, you're going to twist it back and forth 5 or 6 times, and then squeeze the very tip of the finger, and then moving on to the next one. Roll, roll, roll. Squeeze the tip of the finger. As you do the bone rolling, you can give that finger a little bit of traction. Noticing if there's certain fingers that are more sensitive for you. And then moving to the other side. Roll, roll, whirl. Squeeze the tip of the finger. If anyone out there has arthritis in their hands, their usually the thumbs, but if you have it in your fingers too, this is a really good way just to keep those joints warmed up and mobile and moving. And it's really gentle. We're just bringing as much movement into those joints as we can. Go give the hand, give the hands one more rub, and then we'll shake them out. Okay. So let's grab the back of the neck. Put this up here. We'll grab the back of the neck looking down. As you tilt the head and look up, you're going to drag your hands down the sides to the front of your neck, with your fingertips ending at the top of your collarbone, but hold at the top here and try to touch your tongue to your nose. It just adds an extra little stretch there, and then release. And back to the beginning. Grab the back of the neck, look down. As we look up, dragging the fingertips down, tongue to the nose. How close can you get? Can anyone do it? Good. Release 2 more times. Grab the back of the neck. Pull, look up, tongue to the nose. And release 1 more time. Grab, pull, look up, tongue to the nose. Good. And then release, shake the hands out. Okay. We're gonna do some face tapping. We've done this before, but we haven't done it in a while. So I just want you to use, if you're able to, the pads of your middle fingers. If that's hard for you, you can use your knuckles, but this is very, very gentle. Okay, we're just waking up one of the nerves that innervates the sensations of our face and some of the muscles of our face also. So you're just going to take the middle finger, And you're just going to gently tap. So we're going to start kind of over the sinuses. This is really gentle. And then you're going to work your way outwards towards the sides of the face. And you're basically going to trace your eye socket coming up and over. I'm kind of above the eyebrow right now. And then I'm finishing right where my third eye is. And then I'm going to tap along the eyebrow this time, going from in to out, working my way down and back to where we started over the sinuses. Yeah, so no rush with this, but just do that a couple more times. Very gentle taps. We're just waking up one of the cranial nerves that innervates this area. This should feel relaxing. There shouldn't be pain. There shouldn't be discomfort. If there is, you might be tapping too hard. Once you've done that 2 or 3 times, you're going to work your way down and out kind of towards that area in front of the ears and tracing the jaw line down all the way to the chin, tapping the very center of your chin, and then tapping back along and up the angle of the jaw. And again, just do that a couple more times. And let your jaw go slack here. Let your jaw really relax. Coming back to your belly breath. Noticing if you've got some tender areas in the jaw, this is really normal. Okay, and then last thing, we're going to bring those fingertips to the forehead, like the very front of the forehead, as if you were thinking really hard. And just finish with some forehead taps. Okay, and relax and shake the hands. Yeah, so just take a moment to reassess. This is a really obvious one for me where I feel like it's kind of an automatic nervous system calmer. That's the point. We're activating your rest and digest nervous system by doing some of that tapping. So this is a good one if you're ever feeling really stressed out. Okay, let's just do a couple more for the head and neck. We'll give ourselves a head scratch. Trying to cover as much of the head as possible. Good. And then we'll grab the ears. And we're just going to do one pull today. We're going to find our earlobe pull down and back behind us. And you can kind of pull the ears away from each other too. So down and back behind you and pulling the ears away. And take a couple of belly breaths into this hold. Yeah. Slowly release that. And then we'll shake the hands out. All right. Actually, I'm going to stay zoomed in here. Okay, let's do some bone tracing. So we'll take the hands behind you at the very base of your rib cage. You can use your thumbs or knuckles, whatever you can reach here. And we're just going to trace the outline of the bottom part of your ribs, moving from the back to the front. And if it's hard for you to touch the back part of your ribs, then you can start at the side of your ribs and trace your way to the front. And again, just staying with a nice relaxed breath here. Okay, we'll shake the hands out. One more like that. So hands on the back of the hips now. So now your hands are resting on the top of your pelvis. And if this is your first time doing this, I feel like this always surprises people of how high the pelvis goes. The pelvis goes pretty darn high. So find the junction where that bone meets soft tissue, and that's where I want you to trace. And you're doing the same line, drawing from the back around the sides to the front. Noticing what the tissue is like in these areas. Is it more tender on one side than the other? Does one side of your hips feel higher than the other? Okay, so it's kind of nice to notice that too. Good, and then we'll shake that out. Okay. Last thing here with the tapping, we can make a soft fist or whatever kind of tapping you want to do, and we'll work going down the outsides of the legs, giving the feet a rub, and then coming up the insides of the legs. And we'll go through that a few times. When you've done that a few times, make sure you get the tops of the thighs, bottoms of the thighs if you can reach them. And then we'll bring hands to the knees. And just like we did with the elbows, but tracing the outlines of the knees, bringing some heat to that area. You can either stay on the knees, or if you're able to reach the ankles, and giving a rub to that outside ankle bone, above, below it, around it, and to that inside ankle bone. Okay, good. Let's give one more shake of the arms. Let your lips go. All right. Okay, so we're going to pull in some tongue and eye movements here into some of our rotations. So let's start pushing the tongue into the left side of your cheek. Remember, when you're doing these, you're trying to keep your lower jaw steady, so don't let the lower jaw slide around too much. And you're going to press the tongue into the left side of that cheek. Start to find a rotation to the left, keeping that tongue pushing in. And then just hold this for a few seconds. What is the furthest thing back behind you that you can see? I want you to really feel like you're straining your eyes here and straining your tongue, and then everything comes back to the center. Yep. Tongue pushes into the right side. Rotate to the right. What's the furthest thing behind you can see? Strain the eyes, strain the tongue, and back to the center. Yeah, we're just going to alternate like that, and I'm going to layer on one more time. Tongue into the cheek, rotate to the left. Can you see something a little bit further than the first time? Even if it's just a centimeter. And then back to the center. Tongue into cheek, rotate. Can you see something a little further? And center. Let's do one more each side like that. Tongue into cheek, rotate. And center. Last one like this. Tongue into cheek, rotate. And center. Okay. I'm going to switch up the eyes. It's going to be a little bit harder coordination-wise because your brain might be a little confused. That's fine. We're going to do the same movement. You're going to keep tongue into the cheek. You're going to rotate. And you're going to look as far. So let's say you're rotating to the left. You're going to look as far behind you to the left that you can see. You're going to keep your head like that. And then you're going to dart your eyes actually to the right. Wait, am I saying that right? Yes, to the right. No, wait. Oh, damn. No, that's right. That's right. So you're rotated left. You're going to dart your eyes to the right and you're going to hold. And again, your eyes, I'm trying to look at something as far this way as I can see, but my whole body is turned and rotated to the left. And then I'm going to come back to the center. So this is going to feel really counterintuitive because the entire spine and head is going one way, but now the eyes are going the other way. Okay, so it's really more of a coordination piece as opposed to anything else. Okay, so let's try that together. So push tongue into left side of your cheek, rotate left. Okay, first look at something behind you to the left. Okay, don't move your body. Now bring your eyes to something really far to the right. And hold. Yeah, there you go, there you go. Hold, and then come back to the center. Okay, same thing. Other side. Tongue into the right cheek. Rotate to the right. Let your eyes go right. Then bring your eyes to the left, but leave your body as it is. Hold, challenge your eyes, strain your eyes, and then back to the center. Yeah, and again, tongue into the left cheek, rotate left, eyes to the left, then eyes to the right, hold, hold, and center. Tongue into the right cheek, rotate right, eyes go right, then eyes go left, hold, and then back to the center, relax. Yeah, let's find a reset here because that can be a lot for the eyes. So just find a slow, heavy roll down to the ground. If you want to close your eyes for this, then feel free to do that. And just pause at the bottom, take a couple of breaths there. And then on your next exhale, we'll roll back up. All right. Nice work, everybody. Okay, go ahead and grab your letter ball. Okay, go ahead and go right into playing letter ball. Normal game that we've been playing. I'm going to explain it for any new folks here. Okay, so holding that ball into your chest, you're going to move it away from your body at any angle you'd like. You're going to say look at the ball, say the first letter or number you see, and then pull it back in. Move the ball away from your body at a different angle, say the first letter or number you see, pull it back in. Okay, and you're just going to keep doing that over and over. I'm going to give, I haven't done this, but for folks that are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to have you do this by working your way through the alphabet. We're just going to start with that. So you're still moving the ball, you're pointing your nose at the ball, and I want you to work your way through the alphabet forwards and then backwards. Okay. And for everyone else, you're just reading that first letter number you see, moving or throwing that ball all the way around your body. Remember, it's okay. It's good to drop the ball. It means that you've met your edge here. Yeah. Yeah, good. I see some people losing balls. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple more layers. I'm going to face this way just so I don't mess this up with my rights and my lefts. When you catch a letter, wait, sorry. Yeah, we'll do this way. When you catch a letter, you're going to, wait, sorry, I'm going to reverse that. When you catch an even number, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on, when you catch an even number, you're going to shrug your right shoulder up or lift your right leg. Okay, so even number, move the right side of your body. An odd number, either shrug the left shoulder or lift the left thigh. Even number, right side of your body. Odd number, left side of your body. Those are for the numbers. Okay, so even right, odd left. And then if you catch a letter, you're going to do both, shrug both shoulders up. And everyone will do that same one. Letter is both shoulders. Even is right, odd is left, letter is both. Even right, odd left, letter both. Okay, so go ahead and go into playing again. And remember, you're just trying to make, oopsies. You're just trying to make that decision as quick as you can. See the letter or number, your brain interprets the decision, your body moves. See, decide, act. See, decide, act. We're just trying to improve quite literally the speed of your brain when it comes to seeing something and having to make a decision. Even number right, odd number left, letter both. Okay, good. Do a few more like that. Okay, I'm just gonna give you one more layer, last layer, everyone, and then we'll keep moving. We're gonna do the exact same thing you're just doing, but then we're gonna do the recall game, which we haven't done in a little bit. Remember, with recall, let's try to remember maybe 4 or 5 numbers or letters that you see. So for example, A2, A28, A28C, but you're only doing the body movement for the new letter. Okay, so you're trying to remember up to 5 letters or numbers. It resets after every 5, and you're only doing the body movement for that exact, for what's a good way of saying this? You're only doing the body movement for the newest number or letter that you see. If you can remember more than 5, do more than 5. Yeah, and if 5 is too hard and you keep forgetting, then do less than 5. Saying the numbers and the letters out loud is also helpful, so I encourage you to do that. Yeah. Maybe do one more set of 5. Yeah, that looks good, everybody. I feel like people always get quicker when this one. It takes a little bit of adjusting in the beginning, but then it gets quicker. Okay. Good. When you've done those 5, you can set the ball down. And then we'll come into some of our spinal movements, and we're going to start adding the breath in a little bit quicker. So these past maybe 5 or 6 weeks, we've been working on bringing breath into these movements in a more intentional way. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're just going to move through it a little quicker. Okay, so hands can be on the hips. Yeah, and we're just going to start with a rib translation to the left and to the right. So ribs stay parallel to the floor, gliding one way, excuse me, and gliding the other way. Okay, so we're going to stay with that movement, or sorry, we're going to come back to that same movement, but come to the center, and then bring both of your hands to the high, to kind of that outside high part of your ribs, if you can. If you are unable to reach that, don't worry about it. And if it's been hard for you to feel some of this, and I forgot to say this, if you have a TheraBand, you can grab your TheraBand, because it's helpful to wrap this around your rib cage as you're doing not just these movements, but some of this breath work. So I'm just going to do this to show you here. You don't have to do this. It's just a helpful technique, and you're trying to spread that TheraBand out so it's sitting nice and flat on your rib cage. Okay, so either using the TheraBand or your hands or just your awareness. So we started with belly breathing in the beginning of class. Okay, so that's that nice relaxed breath. So we're going to come to this lateral rib breathing, this back and lateral rib breathing. So I'm going to have you take stay with some kind of deeper inhales and deeper exhales just to start. And really seeing if you can put that breath into the sides of your ribs. The sides of your ribs are expanding like a balloon and then coming back in with a full exhale. Okay, so as you're taking these breaths, noticing a couple things. A, are you able to feel it in the sides of your ribs? B, do you have a side that feels more restricted? Okay, so just being aware of that. And then can you stay with this breath, and can you take maybe not such a big voluminous breath? So once you get the hang of it, we want to bring your breathing back to a normal breath. We don't want to be taking this huge inhale and huge exhale each time, just because that's kind of unrealistic for the kinds of movements we're doing, at least in this class. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different way to do it. And when I'm doing this, I'm thinking about hands are on the outside of my ribs, but I'm thinking of breathing into the lower back side of my ribs. I'm basically thinking of breathing into my mid upper back. And I actually feel a pretty significant stretch with all of the soft tissue in that area. Like even without moving my body, I feel that stretch already just by taking a slightly bigger inhale and a slightly longer exhale. Okay, and again, if you're not feeling any of these things that I'm talking you through, that is totally okay. This breath work can take a long time to learn. Okay, so I'm just kind of throwing the kitchen sink at you here. Okay, I want you to stay with that breath, but now we're going to bring it into movement. So you're going to find a translation to your left, and you're going to breathe into the right side of your ribs. So take an inhale into the right side of your ribs, and then exhale back to the center. Translate to the right. Take an inhale into the left side of your ribs, and back to the center. Translate left. Inhale into the open side. Exhale, center. Translate, inhale into the open side. Exhale, center. And just go back and forth. Translate, inhale, and exhale to center. Translate, inhale, and exhale, center. Just do a couple more like that. And last one. Okay, good. We're going to take left arm, we're going to reach it high. Other arm can just be on your lap. Same idea, we're going to breathe into the open ribs. So we're going to take a side bend over. And you're going to breathe into that open side. Take an inhale and exhale, center. Other arm reaches up, side bend, breathe into the open side, inhale, and exhale, center. Side bend, inhale, and exhale, center. And if you want to make these breaths a little bit bigger, just so you can really feel that, then go for it. So it's maybe a slightly bigger inhale and a slightly longer exhale as you come into each side bend. Side bend, inhale. Yeah, and this is another good way to notice, okay, which side am I a bit more restricted breathing on? And then also I do want to mention here, if there's anyone out there, whether it's because of a spinal cord injury or because it's something you've had your whole life, if you have scoliosis, which is a lateral curvature of the spine, it's going to be really obvious which lung and which side is a little bit compressed for you. So you can do a few extra breaths onto the side that feels really compressed, if that's really obvious for you. And that's mainly for folks with some kind of a scoliosis. Okay, good. And then coming back to center. Awesome. Let's bring both arms up to the sky. We'll interlace the fingers and we'll exhale to roll down. Okay, we're going to pause here and just take a couple more breaths into the back of your ribs. You could even reach your arms forward a little bit just to create more openness in the ribs. Thinking of breathing all the way down into your mid low back. Take one more breath there. And then roll yourself back up. All right. Nice work. You can leave the TheraBand on you. I'm just going to take it off here. Let's maybe do one more eye thing. Some of you grab your pencil, just one pencil. And you're going to hold that out in front of you. Pat, did you mean to virtually raise your hand? No, okay, okay. Yeah, I've been finding out that's happening more. I don't know if it's a Zoom upgrade, but a lot of people will have their virtual hands up, and I think it's like a camera thing. Okay, so pencil out in front of you. I want you to look at a specific letter or number on that pencil, and we're just going to start with pencil push-ups. Okay, so bringing that pencil in towards that area between both of your eyes. It's okay if it goes blurry, but the second you start to see two letters or two pencils, it means you've gone a little too far, and then we'll slowly pull that pencil away. Okay, so just pulling that pencil in and out. If you're able to pull the pencil all the way into your nose and you only see one pencil, then keep pulling it all the way into your nose. Just pick up the speed. So move the pencil a little faster in and out if you're able to only see one pencil. If you start to see two pencils, that's your stopping point, and then you pull it out again. Just watching people here. Yeah. For folks who are blind or visually impaired, let's come into your VOR. So let's do 10 head shakes side to side, 10 head shakes up and down. I should say head nods up and down. The faster you move that pencil, the harder this gets. Maybe just do 3 or 4 or 5 more pencil push-ups. Okay, and relax. Okay, good. Close the eyes for a second. Yeah, just nod your head down. Come down into a half roll. So just let your upper spine roll down. And then coming up again. We're just going to do one more thing on each side. You're still doing the pencil push-ups. You're going to be pulling that, pick a different letter on your pencil, and I want you to pull that letter now into your nose. So instead of in between your two eyes, it's going to come into your nose. And you're going to tilt your head to the left. If you're unable to tilt your head and neck to the left, then tilt your whole body to the left. I want you to do 10 pencil push-ups tilted left, 10 pencil push-ups tilted right. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, I want you to tick-tock either your head or your whole body side to side. Okay, so side bending the head. So instead of doing straight head movements, now we're letting the neck bend. Yeah, so it's good to do stuff tilted at different angles because often our dominant eye, yeah, actually, before I explain this, I'll let people finish here. And then just so I know when you're done, go and set your pencil down and take a break. Yeah. Yeah, so we all have a dominant eye and a dominant way to tilt our head. So if you can imagine right now, like if someone were telling you something really sad and you were like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And when you do that, like, oh, like you're receiving some kind of emotion, the head typically tilts. It's like an empathetic response that humans do with each other. The head kind of tilts. So we all, just like we all have a preference with swaying, or we have an eye preference and a dominant eye, we also have a preference and a dominance with a way that our head tilts. Either when we're talking with people, when we're laughing, when we're sharing something, when we're witnessing somebody. So the reason that we do some of these eye movements at different angles is to challenge you at different angles where you have one eye elevated above the other and then vice versa. Because it works the visual system and it works the vestibular system. It's just tilting your head on a totally different axis, especially if you find that you're always tilting one way. I always tilt my head to my left. So I can tell when it goes to the right, everything feels a little harder. Okay, I just wanted to explain that. Good, you can set the pencils down. We'll bring both arms up to the sky. Reaching, let everything lift up, ribs and shoulders. We'll take a side bend left. Take a breath into the open ribs. And a side bend right. And then back to the center. Open the arms up behind you. Pull the chest forward, look up. And then come back to the center. Give everything one more shake. Okay. Good. We'll find a still point. We'll close eyes. Coming back into your belly breaths. And then finding that same axis, that same connection from the crown of your head down your spine, through your hips, and then down and out through your feet. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'll stick around if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, it's good to see you all.